Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm actually going to pin a comment since I don't have a real title here. So today we are going to be talking about all of the latest Instagram updates. And so we're talking about all of the latest Instagram updates and specifically the ones that are going to be the most important for you to pay attention to, and also just see how you can get creative, kind of pivot your strategy if you need to, but also just be in the know. There is so much noise online, things are so confusing that it can be overwhelming and we cannot know what information to trust. We can hear about new features and not really know if they're important, if they're not important. And so this is for you guys. Overall, we are going to be talking about algorithm updates, ranking, and how to reverse engineer the algorithm so you're ranking higher in potential clients' feeds, which, by the way, could be a whole other separate training on its own. The second thing we're going to talk about is AI. So how is Instagram using AI and kind of updating their algorithm in terms of ranking and search? So there's a couple new things there. And then lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about channels, which is one of the latest feature releases, and some creative ways that you can use it, and also kind of just how to wrap your brain around it, right? Some of these updates when they come out, or some of these new features, it's what am I supposed to do with that, right? And it's okay, is this for a celebrity or is this for a local business? Would this benefit me, or is this just for, content creators or influencers? How can I use this? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Super excited to dive in. So let's just go ahead and get started. So where I love to start this conversation, so if you guys have been to my Instagram updates before and listened to those trainings, you know that I love to start out by letting you know how to find this information yourself. I hope that as y'all are online and out in the world and you're seeing tips and tricks and hacks and all of that stuff, that in your head, in the back of your mind, you're always asking yourself, where did they get this information? Is this just something that worked for them? Or is this something that is actually real? Where the hell did this come from? So all of the information I'm going to be sharing with you was released by Instagram itself, okay? And you can access all of this information and more by following the account at Mosseri, Mosseri, okay? So he regularly shares videos and live streams where he talks about the latest things: shadow banning, algorithm, ranking, new features that are being discontinued, possible future features, okay? So you can get it straight from them. And I find that a lot of times it's like playing a game of telephone. So then by the time you might be finding the information in a reel, it could be so warped and whatever that I always want you guys to have this mind's eye of where is this coming from? And, how can I basically verify that this is real? What, right? So all of this came right from Mosseri. And there are more things that we could talk about, but to me, these are the three most impactful updates that are going on right now. Okay, so let's jump into the algorithm and ranking and how we can reverse engineer it so that our content is showing up in our potential clients' feed more often. So, as we talked about before, there are multiple algorithms. So there isn't just one algorithm, there's many. So there's going to be an algorithm for feed, there's going to be an algorithm for stories, for the explore page, for reels, everything, okay? And how algorithms work, a lot of times I hear people trying to make them kind of the enemy, or this mysterious ghost that muddles everything up and nobody knows. You guys, algorithms are based completely on your behavior. okay? So sometimes my husband and I will switch our phones and be on each other's Instagrams because it's just so fun to see how different they are. Like, no Instagram feed or experience is going to be the same. And if you haven't done that before, like, totally switch phones with your best friend, with your mom, whatever, and go on her Instagram page and just see what it's like. It is so different, okay? And the way that this is decided is your activity. So you are consciously or subconsciously training your algorithm at all times on what you want to be shown. So for example, we'll just talk about stories, but really this is going to apply to everything. So for stories, the way that they decide which story is closest to the top that you can see right in your eyes view is that, first of all, they want to show you the stuff that you want to see so that you're on the app longer, okay? So Instagram's goal always is to keep you on the app longer by giving you a great experience where you're having fun, you're learning, you're entertained, you're shopping, you're whatever you like to do on Instagram. They want you to do it so that you're doing it longer. So how they rank your stories is based on who you regularly interact with, right? If you've watched someone's story before and you've replied to their message, if you've hearted it, if you've voted in their polls, if you guys regularly talk in the DMs, if you regularly like and comment on their content, they are going to show up first. So if you scroll and look at other people who are showing up later in your feed, more hidden, it's probably people that you don't interact with a lot, right? So that is how it works. So what we interact with most shows the most, okay? So obviously as a user, we want to engage and interact with things that we like and want to see more of, which I think is cool. And it's also interesting because we in this world, right, we have a lot of like keyboard, I don't know if I even want to go down this rabbit trail, but we have a lot of like keyboard warriors out there, right, who want to comment on everything that they hate, who think that the world is scary and terrifying and all of this stuff. If you interact with scary, terrifying, negative things, you're gonna see more of it. And the thing about our experience in social media is that it does shape our perception, right? Because they show us more of what we do. So we can get this false sense that everybody, you know, everyone in the world or every experience in the world is bad, or the opposite of everything is good, everything is totally fine, or everybody is a business owner right now, or everybody's doing balayage right now, or whatever. Because we are shaping our experience and it's unique. So if you want a different Instagram experience, interact and engage with different things, and then always feel free to hit the 3 dots on any posts on Explore or anything that comes in your feed and just say not interested, okay? I hit not interested to anything that is like diet related or like body, you know, body image stuff. I hit not interested on a lot of like drinking and alcohol content. I hit not interested on pregnancy stuff, okay? Like there's just a lot of stuff that you might not want to see a lot of, right? It's not relevant to you. It's not something that's interesting to you. So you create your feed, and the more conscious we can be of creating our feed, the better. So that's tip number 1. But how can we use this knowledge of the algorithm that I just laid out to actually get our content front and center in our dream clients' pages? So we want to be creating opportunities for them to be actively engaging with us, because like I said, we see the content in our feed, in our stories, in our reels. We see that content of people we interact with. So how can we create more opportunities for our dream clients to interact with us? Whether it's, you know, messaging them about normal stuff, by the way, not a hey girl chunk, okay? About normal stuff. Maybe it's having cool and fun and silly polls in our stories that get them interacting with us so our content is up. Like, we want to create those opportunities so that we're reverse engineering and our stuff is showing up more. Okay, so that is how the algorithm works and how you can kind of reverse engineer it. I go way more into that in my luxury client method program, so it's kind of scratching the surface, but you get it. Alex. Okay, my cat wants to steal my water all the time. He's like a little monster. Let's see. Yep, there he is. Okay. Okay, so next let's talk about AI. All right, so obviously AI is a huge topic of conversation, and honestly, a lot of us don't really know what to make of it, or we're not really understanding how it is starting to infuse in everything that we touch and everything that we experience. Okay, sorry about that. So we aren't fully aware always of like how AI is impacting everything that we're experiencing, from movies and TV shows to social media to how we should be creating content to how we're advertised to and what's going on with all of that. So how is Instagram integrating AI? Okay, so obviously the algorithms learn about you based on your activity, so that's one aspect. But another aspect that has changed in the past, I would say 6 months, is that now they're using AI to focus on keywords in your caption. So if y'all remember, it really used to be like hashtags and your bio, and that was like the main way that people could search and find you and things like that. Now they are introducing more keywords, okay? So think about Google and blogging if you have that experience, where in a blog, it's so important to have the keywords of what you're talking about, because that is how Google's AI and Google's algorithm searches and finds relevant information for what people are looking for. So what is all, that's a lot of words, but what does it mean? So what we want to do now is in our captions, even if they're short, even if you're like, Ren, I'm not a writer, I'm not going to do the caption thing, no worries. What you want to do is essentially just include those keywords. So for your local business, this is going to be, women in Tampa, right? Tampa's my city. Don't associate me with Florida things though I don't align with any of that, but Tampa's my city, so women in Tampa, that would need to be somewhere in your thing. You would want to say balayage, haircut, hairstylist, like whatever you are talking about in your video or what your photo says, you would want to include those keywords, because now it isn't just hashtags. So our hashtags, and like my method for hashtags has always been city specialty, right? So Tampa hairstylist, Tampa blonding, Tampa balayage, okay? So your hashtags, which are going to be 3 to 9 hashtags is now what's recommended, are going to be very, very focused. So those keywords you put in your hashtag city Tampa can now be included in your caption for even more visibility in search related things, okay? So I think that this is really cool, because when we use Instagram's features like Instagram wants us to, we get that added visibility, right? So a lot of times people are like, Instagram isn't showing my stuff anymore, okay? Right? We've all felt like that. So it's like the best thing we can always do is just show up and use what they have available to us. So let's use keywords. Let's do, not do 1,000 hashtags anymore. Let's have our bios be what they are. Let's create those opportunities for people to be engaging with us so that we are showing up in their feeds higher. Okay, so the last update that I think is interesting is channels. Okay, so channels is a new update where basically in your inbox area, you are now able to have more of a, what feels like a private experience with the creator, okay? So if I had a channel and you all joined my channel, you wouldn't be able to write in it, but you would get announcements from me that weren't in my feed. So one of the ways that I was thinking about this is like, it's almost like a private Facebook group, okay? Except that other people can't start conversations, but other than that, it's kind of like a private Facebook group. So I know a few years ago, it was really popular to start like a VIP group with your clients, so that when you had sales, when you had promotions, when you had openings, it was a much more direct way to fill those openings without blasting it publicly and, you know, whatever. It was just like a more controlled way. So channels are kind of the same thing, where if you get your clients in there specifically, that's kind of where I would start, is like inviting your existing clients in there. It's a way to like make sure that they're not missing important things that are going on with you. As for me, I am more of a late adopter, so I'm somebody who really watches how things play out before I jump in head first. So I am not embracing channels yet. I would say, unless you are already consistently posting and consistently getting clients from Instagram, I wouldn't even mess with channels. Okay, so that's just going to be one more thing that you need a strategy for, one more thing to be thinking about. So unless you are at that level where you've kind of mastered your consistency, you're showing up, you're getting clients, I wouldn't even go over there. So don't feel that pressure. You know, there are so many features that sometimes it's like, I have to do everything, but like you totally don't, and it's going to be okay. All right, so those are the Instagram updates that I think are the most important for you. Just a quick recap, we talked about the algorithm, how there are multiple, and how you can reverse engineer the algorithm to get in front of your dream clients more often. We talked about how Instagram is using more AI with keywords and captions. So long captions are dead. Not true, y'all. It never was true, but like really not true. So keywords are important now. And then channels, how you could use them, how to know if you should be using them. That's what we talked about. So I hope that this was super helpful for you. Definitely jump into my DMs with any of your questions. And as always, if you have room for 4 or more new clients a week, DM me the word clients so that I can help you have a simple method for getting high-end loyal clients on a regular basis using Instagram. All right, I will see you all next week. Bye.